Welcome to another Artabet class. I'm Ron Mulvey, and today we're going to be doing a pine tree. I've used this subject in many of my paintings, acrylics, and watercolors. There's always trees around me and water. I don't think I could live anywhere unless I had trees and water. This is my backyard. I'm looking for our first tree project here. Sitting down and getting some food from nature. So we're going to draw an old pine tree. Let's take a pine tree and let's do a very simple drawing of one first. We take the trunk, put a little bit of a ground, so it looks like it's in the ground. And now let's look at the pattern of the branches. There's going to be one here, and one here. Pine trees are trees that have radiating branches or radial branches. The branches all go in the same place right up the tree, and there's always 3 or 4 or 5 depending on how it grew. So that's the pattern for getting a pine tree. Now the bottom branches are going to point down, and we're pretending there's nothing on the tree. The next ones are going to come out a little more. They're still going to point down a bit. The ones right about here are just, you're only going to see a little bit of that one because it's going to be pointing right at you. But now the limbs are going to start pointing up because you're under the tree and the perspective will look like this, and by the time you're finished, that's what it'll look like. So the leaves or the needles then attach onto here in different places. And if you look at a pine tree, you can figure out exactly what it's going to be by the look of the needles and the branches. Now we don't need to know the names of trees, but we do have to recognize their growth patterns. And that's what makes certain trees look the way they do. So there's my pine tree. And we're looking up at it. Now a cedar tree is a frond tree. They have little fronds on them like this. And they attach to the branches. And actually the other side shows too. And it's usually darker, so that makes it look like it's hanging. And that's